We are speaking to Ian and Linda Suggett. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi there.
We're fine.
Good. It sounds like you're very busy today. You've got a lot going on in the background by the sounds of it, yeah?
Yes, we've got a 15-month-old baby who's just woken up and just been fed, and a 10-year-old who's off school with inset day, so keeping us out of mischief.
Now, you guys are foster carers. How long have you been fostering for?
Nearly 10 years now.
It's the best, worst job in the world. Every day is different. I mean, you cannot say that you've got a rough guess what'll happen tomorrow, but who knows? The children give you challenges. They give you some great highs. Yes, they give you some lows as well, but the highs generally outweigh the lows.
Tell me, what made you want to actually start fostering?
Well, my children were grown up. Ian and I were just starting on a new relationship, and his job moved him down to Wales. I moved down as well, therefore I was out of work. I had nobody to look after except Ian, and I love looking after people. You know, I'd cared for my parents, I'd cared for my children. It's not who I am, but it's what I feel I'm best at. It just made sense to me.
There's so many different avenues that you can choose if you're thinking of becoming a foster carer. And there are lots of children that need foster carers, just like you two amazing people. But why did you actually choose the route to go down your local authority, you know, with the council? Why that way?
An advert to go along and see what it was all about. It was like an introduction to, and that's what I went along to. It just worked for us. Everyone was really helpful, informative. It was, for us, it was a very long process because we're talking nearly 10 years ago. They've kind of tuned it up a bit more now, so it doesn't take quite as long.
I get the impression you guys are quite fun as foster carers, but how would you describe being a foster carer to anyone that's listening that may be interested in doing the job, and it's an important job themselves?
You've got to think on your feet. You've got to be able to be imaginative in the way you deal with stuff.
Creative.
It does keep you young, and you cannot deal with the children in the same way that you parent your birth children. It's totally different. These children have seen and experienced things that nobody, not even adults, should ever experience. So you've got to be able to think outside the box.
The young people like boundaries. They
don't like them, they need them.
They need them, yes. Yeah, and they feel comfortable and safe. And that's part of what it's all about, is getting these young people to feel safe. The hardest thing is for you to gain their trust. They've had a lot of adults generally let them down. So to come to a place where we're complete strangers when they walk through the door with their social worker, we've got to work to gain their trust. With babies, it's relatively easy because a bottle or food generally meets their imminent needs.
Yeah, they can be comforted a lot easier than a child who understands what's happened to them.
Would you say that it actually keeps you guys feeling young?
Oh, absolutely.
You can't just think one step ahead. You've got to think about 10 steps ahead.
And obviously with all the training that BCBC do, you're learning all the time. With modern technology, with the internet, with smartphones, with all that side of it, you've got to stay ahead of it. 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds will just leave you for dead with technology, unless you're up to speed with it.
Does that mean he's good on a Game Boy, Linda?
I'm rubbish. Rubbish.
I can do the games. He does the other stuff.
Oh, right, okay. How many children have you actually fostered since you became foster carers?
We have opted for long-term children. So about 10, isn't it?
10 or
so
15.
we haven't had loads.
We've had complex ones that have been with us 3s and 4s and 5 years.
Does that make you feel proud? Do you get a sense of satisfaction from doing the work that you do? I call it work, but it's more personal, isn't it?
Yeah, I get a great sense of satisfaction. Yeah. I mean, yes, it's hard. It can be full on because, it's 24/7, 365 days a year.
A teething baby at 2 o'clock in the morning, you don't think, oh, this is rewarding.
So out of those 10 people that you've fostered, some have obviously left you, but do you keep in touch with the children afterwards when they leave?
We've had the 2 older boys now for 6 years. We're keeping in touch with, in fact, we've just bought a caravan, so we went up to the other side of Swansea where 2 of the young people that we fostered are living with their adopt your family.
That was a bigger learning curve than the children, I
Yes,
think.
it was. And we had a fabulous day sort of reminiscing. But it's important for the young people as well, because the oldest one's now 7-ish. And she wanted questions answering about before she went to a new mum and dad. You know, like, what was the first word I said? Which only we could answer that.
Yeah.
Fills the blocks in for her that new mum and dad can't do because they don't know.
Now, you've given some glowing references to the local authority while we've been chatting. I'm keen in finding out about the support that you guys get. I would imagine at the start, especially, you need that support on certain aspects of the job that you're doing. You know, what kind of support do you get from the local authority and the team at Foster at Wales Progent?
We've been really lucky. Our supervising social workers, were and are outstanding. The department will offer support. You know, if you've got a particular problem with a child, that, you know, there's somebody there that we can talk to.
There are 5 what they call liaison carers, of which I'm one of them, and we look after about 25 other foster carers on an informal, formal basis. So they can literally phone us 24/7. Foster carers understand foster carers.
I've got one final question for you. What advice would you give to someone who is right now listening, thinking, I'd like to do this, but I'm not 100% sure?
Ask the question.
Yeah, but speak to people that know. Speak to foster carers themselves. Speak to liaison carers. You've got to think it's not a decision to be taken lightly. What you do affects the lives of the children that you are looking after. It's not just about you. It's about them and what you can offer them and what you feel you can do to get that person so that by the time they leave you, they've gained some really useful tools to get through life. That is what it's about, and that's what you've got to offer. And it isn't something that you can just pick up and put down, you know, like a book. You can't. You've got to be doing it 24/7, 365 days a year, and have that commitment all the time.
Yeah. But you can make a massive effect on the young person's life and give them a second chance to become the best person they can be. And that's what we're all about. It's just giving that independence and giving them the opportunity to try stuff that if they'd have stayed where they were, they wouldn't have that opportunity, sadly. So anybody who's thinking about it, make the inquiry, ask the question, and then ask to meet other foster carers.
You guys rock, and I really appreciate your time and having a chat with you today and giving us this insight. So Ian and Linda, thank you very, very much.
No problem. Take care.